Exactly $1 billion in cash. That's the price Donald Trump set for the right to vote in the New World Order. It sounds strange, but Trump decided that he could run the planet and personally replace the entire United Nations. Today, January 18, Bloomberg published sensational details of the secret charter of a new international organization that Trump is creating under his personal chairmanship. He says it's time to dissolve the United Nations and form a new group, the Council of Peace or Board of Peace. And if you thought this was just another bureaucratic structure like the United Nations, you're mistaken. It's a kind of exclusive club, and now entry is officially being sold. And this elite club is planning to impose order all over the world and even manage conflict zones like the Gaza Strip and even Ukraine. Let's figure out together what kind of peace council Donald Trump came up with and how it might work. My name is Pechiy. Let's discuss this topic together, but before we start, I ask you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave any comment you want. Also, subscribe to my Telegram channel, Pechiy News. The link is in the description of this video. There we publish breaking news as it comes in. So let's go over the facts that became known just a few hours ago, according to the Pechiy draft charter of the New World Council, which Bloomberg agency got hold of. Countries wishing to obtain permanent member status in this council are required to contribute at least $1 billion to a special fund in their very first year of participation in the council. Donald Trump argues that the United States of America no longer intends to pay for global security alone. He says they will no longer be the world's policemen. Let everyone help, but Trump will still set the rules. And as American media are already writing, checkbook diplomacy has replaced the diplomacy of values. Donald Trump says, if you want to manage things on this planet with the United States, you must pay. America will still have the final say. And if you don't have money, well, you're nobody, and no one will listen to you, just like it could be in the United Nations. What is this Council of Peace, and why do we even need it? Initially, Donald Trump's administration stated that this would be a body for the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip after the war. But today, January 18, we see that the ambitions are much broader. According to the Associated Press, Trump plans to give this international body the authority to resolve almost all global conflicts, from Ukraine to the Middle East. Essentially, an alternative to the United Nations is being created, where decisions are made not by the General Assembly, but by a board of directors led by Donald Trump. This is important because while decisions in the United Nations are made by a vote of all United Nations members, that is, almost every country in the world, in Donald Trump's new Peace Council, decisions are made by those who have paid for such a privilege, while those without money have no voice. And these are not just plans. Donald Trump has already sent out personalized invitations to the Peace Council. Reuters and the Jerusalem Post report that Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has received invitations and is rumored to have accepted. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Argentinian leader Javier Milei even published a letter from Donald Trump where he writes, "This council will be one of a kind. Nothing like it has ever existed before." Well, for now, at this stage, this Peace Council will deal with Gaza, but later Trump will collect money from the participants and suggest that they dissolve the United Nations and join his Peace Council. How can all this work technically? The Charter of the Peace Council states that the usual term of membership in this council is 3 years. But those who contribute $1 billion to the fund, most likely Donald Trump's fund, receive a permanent mandate. Essentially, it's like a United Nations Security Council, but for money, meaning a small number of countries that solve all the problems. But then Donald Trump hid his main trump card. All decisions in this World Council are made by majority vote. And this is the key point. Each decision is subject to final approval by the chairman of the World Council, and the chairman of the World Council, as you may have guessed, is Donald Trump himself. This is basically a one-person decision. The White House has already tried to justify itself, and the Trump administration's social media account stated that reports about an entrance fee are misleading. They say you misunderstood everything. Of course, it's about money, but it's not an entrance fee, it's something else. But we haven't figured out exactly what it is yet, so don't jump to any conclusions. We'll come up with something later and explain. The White House claims that there is no fixed fee and permanent membership will be granted to countries for, quote, a deep commitment to peace and prosperity. I wonder what criteria will be used to determine this. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump later says, let's invite Vladimir Putin, he's committed to peace and prosperity. However, Bloomberg insists on his position. In the draft charter of the Peace Council, the amount of $1 billion is clearly stated. What does this mean for you and me? Donald Trump is now essentially privatizing global diplomacy. If previously international law was based on treaties, now it's based on investments in the Peace Council. This marks the final move to transactional geopolitics. Do you want your interests considered when dividing spheres of influence, like in Ukraine, Venezuela, the Middle East, and so on? Pay $1 billion, and then everything will be settled behind closed doors. No money? Well, then there's no seat at the table. Sorry to put it bluntly, but Donald Trump is proposing to turn the whole world into a corporation where the controlling stake belongs to one person. Donald Trump. Share your thoughts on this Council of Peace in the comments. Could this become a replacement for the United Nations, which has a million questions surrounding it, or will this idea die along with Trump's presidency? Write in the comments, friends. Share your opinions and your thoughts. In the comments under this episode, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and don't forget to like. If you found this episode interesting and useful, you can support the work of this YouTube channel with your donation or subscription using the links and details in the description of this video. That's it for now. Take care. Goodbye, everyone.